Well, good evening. Oh my gosh, it's Wednesday afternoon, or it's Wednesday night at 9:45 in New York City, and I'm Danny Williamson from Integrative Family Medicine, and I am at the Integrative Healthcare Symposium in New York City, which is our big show of the year for those of us that are in functional medicine, integrative medicine. I love this show. Those of you that know me know I absolutely love this show. I come every year. I always do a, hey, Shelby, do a Facebook Live on every night on what I learned. As you guys get logged on tonight, as you're on, hit your heart buttons, hit your like buttons, but also click share, which is on your phone or on your computer. It'll say share right down here at the bottom. And then you can click watch party. All right. Hit watch party, and it will invite all of your friends to watch what I'm talking about if you're interested in that. All right. And then click start watch party. All right. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay. I'm running a little bit late tonight because I went to eat dinner with my buddy, Dr. Gary Goldman, tonight. And if you don't know him, GaryGoldmanMD.com. He's a gynecologist in New York City, functional medicine gynecologist, and he is absolutely fantastic. I met him a couple years ago, and anyway, we had a great dinner tonight talking about functional medicine and how we got into this and all. But listen, today, okay, as you get logged on, hey Shane, hey Scott, how are you guys? Click start a watch party. Today is the pre-conference, and I go every year. This is, look, you can see New York City in the background here, but that's a little distracting. Every year I come to the pre-conference, and this year the entire pre-conference was on cannabis and CBD oil and the endocannabinoid system and all the things. Oh yeah, I'm so excited about it. And so I'm going to share just a little bit of what I learned. March the 2nd, I think that's right. March the 2nd, I teach a new CBD class at the office, and you guys are welcome to come to it. But anyway, and I'll be sharing a lot of this because I had 8 hours from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. of education on the endocannabinoid system. And for those of you all that don't know, I'm a big proponent of CBD oil. I wasn't until recently, about the last 18 months. And my patients were telling me how great it was working for them and how they were feeling so much better and all these things on CBD. And I was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, come to find out, there's not one product that I use with my patients, one product across the board, 100% of you all that are my patients, that helps 99% of you. But CBD does that. And it's fascinating. Chronic pain, migraine headaches, insomnia, anxiety, seizure disorder, dementia, insomnia, period pain, acute pain, you name it, it has helped my patients. And so the entire first day of this conference, this is huge, was all on the endocannabinoid system and CBD. And all these places are coming out with CBD products. Now, I'm not all about all the products because I do believe that, you know, you have to buy really high quality CBD, but I'm going to share just a little bit here the next 15 minutes or so on what I learned today. Every night during this conference, I usually do a Facebook Live. So it probably will be around this time every night. I'm not sure. So just so you know, as soon as you get on, click share and watch party. And then I can't remember what the other portion of it was. All right, guys, here we go. So we're talking about inflammation. So we started off, I was actually at a Standard Process. Standard Process is a company who makes nutraceuticals. I was at their pre-conference presentation today. So inflammation oftentimes begins in the gut. I would say 99.9% of the time, inflammation begins in the gut, okay? Do you know that now I'm just reading off things I learned today. These are not things that I've made up. These are all things that I've learned today, okay? Hey, Nick, how are you? It's good to see you, man. I'd give anything for a good massage. Hey, you guys, if you need a good massage therapist, you know, I love Chris Rader at the Shed Massage. I can't remember his name. Chris Rader. Nick Hollenbach is absolutely phenomenal. He is an amazing massage therapist. Just giving you a little shout out there, Nick. Do you know that greater than 50% of family budgets are spent on food? outside of the house. This is a statistic that came from the United States Department of Agriculture, the USDA. Greater than 50% of families' food budgets come from outside of the house. That's not good. That means they're eating out. They're eating fast food. They're eating McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, thinking that's health food. Guys, you better get your kids' guts fixed now before they turn 16 and they think Chick-fil-A is health food, because I'm telling you it's not. It's loaded with MSG and it's not organic chicken, all right? Greater than 50% of the family's budgets are spent on food outside of the house, okay? Not cooking at home. The first 1,000 days of a baby's life are the most important for setting up the foundation for their future. The first 1,000 days, what is that? 3, 6, 9, 3 years, three years or so, right? But ages 25 to 40 have the greatest impact on our health. So our kids who are aged 25 to 40, those are the years that have the greatest impact on our health, right? That's when you're cooking on your own, or you're not cooking on your own, or you're eating out, or stress and all of that have the greatest impact on our health, either good or bad, all right? Sleep is the greatest anti-inflammatory that we have at our disposal. Hello, what do I tell people every day? You guys that are my patients, what do I tell you? Type it up there. You have to eat well, sleep well, move well, poop well, decrease stress, have community, all those things that I say every day. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Your body heals when you sleep, right? If you can't sleep, you can't heal. And they talked about that ad nauseum today, that you can't fix these problems if you can't sleep at night, okay? They talked a lot about neuroinflammatory stress, and they talked about stress, stress, stress. That stress will kill you. That's one of Danny's 6 steps to healing, is decrease stress. And I ask you that, guys, this all the time. What is going on in your life, right? What's the stress like in your life? What can you remove from your life? Stress, stress, stress. It will activate the immune system. It turns your immune system on, right? In a bad way. Stress kills you. It was mentioned over and over and over again, right? Increased stress equals an increased need. Whoops, let me turn this off. I'm sorry. I had my sound on there. An increased need for MG. What the heck does MG stand for? See, here I am. I don't know. Anyway, nutrition. Okay. What foods help to turn on the endocannabinoid system, right? So the endocannabinoid system, remember, for those of you who take my CBD class, the endocannabinoid system is the system that we have in our body that was discovered in 1992, 1993 by Raphael Michelin in Israel. We talk all about that in the class. You can take it. But it's the system that they discovered that helps keep our body in homeostasis, okay? So in balance, all right? So what foods help turn on or keep the endocannabinoid system in balance, or help keep it functioning better? Carrots, clove, pepper, like black pepper, turmeric, chocolate. Those are some of them that help the endocannabinoid system. Carrots, I think that's fascinating. Do you know that greater than 90% of the United States population do not meet the requirement for the daily vegetable intake? All right, let me repeat that. Greater than 90% of the United States population do not meet the requirement for the daily vegetable and fruit intake, right? They've discovered in studies that a 5% increase, you have a 5% decrease in your risk for mortality, death, all right, for every 1 serving of fruit or vegetables that you eat. And that actually goes up to 5 servings per day increase. So a 25%, 5 times 5 is 25, 25% decrease in risk for mortality, for death, in every 1 to 5 servings, right? One serving, increase risk. So tomorrow I challenge you, eat an extra serving of vegetables. Tomato ketchup does not count, and French fries do not count. I'm talking eat the rainbow, eat an extra serving of broccoli, or extra serving of beets, or an extra serving of parsnips, or an extra serving of spinach, or kale, or cauliflower, or cabbage, or broccoli, or Brussels sprouts, or I don't know. Eat an extra serving of that, okay? I think that's fascinating. So just one extra serving gives you a 5% decrease in your risk of mortality. I'm telling you, people, this is why I use, and this is funny because I just took mine. I forgot to take them during the day. This is why I take my Phyto Multi. I don't know if you can see that vitamin right there, but I bring these packets when I'm on vacation, and it's 2 of the Metagenics fish oil, the D3, and then the Phyto Multivitamin. That's the Phyto Multi that I use in the office that we just private labeled. It's called we private labeled it and named it the Daily Vitamin instead of the Daily Vitamin. It's 9 servings of fruits and vegetables. 9 servings of fruits and vegetables. I'm telling you, it's the greatest multivitamin I've ever used. It's all the phytonutrients, and they talk over and over and over today about the phytonutrients that we need. And those are all the pieces of the plants that you don't normally eat. And so I'm telling you, when you don't take that vitamin right there. My patients tell me, they're like, oh my gosh, we ran out of it on Thursday and we couldn't get in here till Monday and we were tired. It's true. I've used that same multi for about 8 or 9 years, and it's fantastic. We keep it at the office, but I'm a big proponent of whole food or phytonutrient nutrition. Do you know that there are over 100 pharmaceuticals for pain? Okay, for pain relief. And approximately 50% of them do not work. There's over 100 pharmaceuticals for pain relief out there, and approximately 50% of them don't work at all. And this was from Alexa Campano or Campano. I don't know how you say her last name, but she's a doctorate of nursing practice. She's actually a nurse practitioner. Fantastic presentation on CBD and cannabinoids, but this was one of the things that she stated. We have dozens of studies on cannabinoids or CBD and pain. You know, I talk about this all the time, and I showed you all the video a couple of weeks ago of the man who came in giving us the testimony about CBD, the CBD salve, S-A-L-V-E. I'm from the country, so I say salve. The CBD salve, I can't even say it, but he put it on his knees and his pain was gone instantly. It's like a minute and 20-second video. You guys can watch it. So she said we have dozens of studies on CBD and cannabinoids decreasing pain, yet less than 13% of the medical schools, and that's nurse practitioner schools too, I can tell you, teach on the endocannabinoid system. Do you know I spent 3 years in school? Excuse me, I'm drinking my Smooth Move tea over here because I'm on vacation. Very exciting. I spent 3 years in school and $200,000. And do you know that I did not know about the endocannabinoid system until 8 years after I graduated from Vanderbilt? It's just what it is. It's not Vanderbilt's problem. It's just the fact that they don't teach on it. Less than 13% of the medical schools teach on the endocannabinoid system and the power of the endocannabinoid system keeping homeostasis in our body. That's what the endocannabinoid system does. For those of you who don't know or haven't been to my CBD class, when they discovered the endo meaning internal, right, cannabinoid system in our bodies in the 1992 or 93 in Israel, it's the system that keeps homeostasis. And when it's out of balance in our body, that's when chronic disease begins to create, right? And we get these chronic diseases. By taking CBD or cannabis, right, or using CBD or cannabis, you begin to put saturate your receptors and put your system back into balance. It's unbelievable how it works, and decreases pain for sure. Okay. She showed a ton of slides on how the increased use of CBD or cannabis will decrease the use for opioids. All right. So there were a lot of studies, and there were studies that showed that you can use CBD as you're coming with your opioids and also as you're coming off of opioids. It helps to lessen that. And CBD is not addictive. In fact, the World Health Organization, the WHO, in 2018, and the FDA both state that cannabidiol is not addictive, and it is a safe and well-tolerated substance for humans. It is not addictive. It is safe and well-tolerated in humans. This comes from the World Health Organization and the FDA. Yet the government, how many times have they told us, you know, it's dangerous, it's addictive, it doesn't work. Yet they own the patent, right, on cannabinoids as a neuroprotectant. Did you know that? The government owns the patent. I know that because I teach it in the class, and my students learn that, or students, I mean, I guess you're students, but anyway, the people who come and listen to the Lunch and Learns. The government owns the patent for cannabinoids as neuroprotectants and antioxidants. So they knew in the 90s how important cannabinoids were. Greater than 90% of the patients, so there was a slide that showed a study that said that greater than 90% of patients who use CBD would buy it again. But what they want to get it from legal places, and they want to know that it is the real deal, full spectrums, third-party tested, all the things that we teach about and all the things we talk about in the office as well. But greater than 90%, I'm going to tell you, there's not a whole lot of products that greater than 90% or prescriptions, greater than 90% of the people who use it would say, absolutely, sign me up. I'm going to take it again. I'm going to do it again. No matter what, I'm going to do it again. So here we were talking about the delivery system, and this gal's an expert. She actually got her PhD. She was the first person to get her PhD in some sort of cannabinoid, endocannabinoid study. I don't know, but anyway, her PhD dissertation was done in the cannabis, on the endocannabinoid system. Sublingual is, of course, the fastest way to absorb it. It's the fastest. Sublingual, that's our liquid. I don't have it with me because guess what? I forgot my CBD, but there's going to be plenty of it here. I'll borrow some. I'll get some here. I don't think it's as good as our Earth's Glory, but I'll get some here tomorrow. Sublingual is going to absorb the fastest, right? Sublingual, meaning under the tongue or in the mouth, all right? She recommends 10 milligrams 1 to 2 hours before bed. Now, again, it's the wild, wild west out there, and we have no idea really what the dosing is, but really what they say is, 60 milligrams, 60 to 80 milligrams a day is probably, good for most people. Sublingual, you're going to absorb it the fastest. Orally, and she's talking in capsules, she doesn't think those work as well, which I agree. I don't think they do either, because they have to go through the liver. They have to go through the first pass in the liver, right? So they have to be metabolized through there. They don't go directly to the bloodstream when you take it orally in a capsule, but it does sublingual. So she says then you need to take 15 to 20 milligrams. So remember, on the oral, it's 10 milligrams or so. It's different for everyone, but orally 15 to 20 milligrams 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. And that's how she suggested it as well for the sublingual. She says titrate. And I don't tell my patients this, so this is something to know if you guys are my patients and you're watching this. Titrate every 3 days up to 5 milligrams or so, up to about 6 milligrams or 60 milligrams total per day. Sorry, I've been listening all day and talking all night at dinner. Titrate every 3 days up until once you're titrated and you don't feel any better, like you keep going up and you're like, okay, I don't feel any bad, I didn't feel any difference here, then you've hit your sweet spot. All right, so back it down. You've reached your peak. You'll figure it out. It's different from everybody. What makes me feel well and what makes you feel well are two different things. Titrate means work up slowly. So you can either titrate up or you can titrate down. Okay, so if you're going to titrate up, maybe you want to use 2 milligrams, 3 milligrams, 4 milligrams, 5 milligrams, however you want to do it every day, up until you get to your peak. And then you're going to know where. It's kind of like, those of you that use hydrochloric acid that I put you on, Betaine hydrochloric acid, you titrate up on that. And then when you start to have heartburn that you need to back off. 1 or 2 pills, and that's your sweet spot. It's the same with CBD, she said. All right. So, Elizabeth, I use Earth's Glory. That's not who was talking today. They're not here but Earth's Glory is the only CBD oil that I use in my office. We have the 500 milligrams and the 1,000 milligrams. I think they're the cleanest, but this was a different product. This is a different product that's got some turmeric in it and some other things in it that we'll talk about later if we decide to sell it. And she said, people ask many times, will I fail a drug test? Because that's a big, legitimate question. And they ask us this every single day in the office. Does anybody know that answer? Has anybody taken CBD and failed a drug test? Hit your heart button or like button or your thumb down button if you have. And here's the answer. And here's what she tells her patients is, yeah, you could fail a drug test. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's not good. I guess you could. In theory, you could fail a drug test, but legal CBD has to have less than 0.3% THC in it. THC is what makes you high. That's what's in marijuana. And again, we're not having a CBD class online. I teach that in person in the office, but THC is what's in marijuana and it makes you high, right? Marijuana has higher THC, less CBD. Okay, so CBD is more prevalent in hemp. Marijuana has high THC, less CBD. Hemp has less THC, more CBD. Okay, so hemp, CBD oil, that's what hemp is made out of. I mean, that's what CBD is made out of, is hemp. Has industrial hemp, CBD oil has to have less than 0.3% THC. And she says, yeah, you may fail a drug test. Absolutely. Because, and here's the reason, not because you have high doses of THC, unless you're getting a company that is not third-party tested on all of the things that could be in it, like the THC and all of that. Because I didn't know this, so I learned this was something new I learned today. I didn't know that the typical urine drug test is a very cheap test. It's very cheap, it's inexpensive, and it's not very sensitive, meaning you can get a lot of false positives on it. So you may get a positive drug screen, but it's a false positive. It's not true. If you're using one that's third-party tested and you know for a fact it has less than 0.3% THC, because the cutoff on a urine drug test is 0.3% THC. So if you are actually, you could be one of two things. It could be a faulty test. It's a cheapo urine test, or you've got a company that is not third-party tested and you have more than 0.3% THC. We don't have that because I know who we use in the office and I have their third-party certificate ×2. She says if you failed the drug test, then you need to ask them to do a blood serum test out of your arm or a hair analysis test. One of those. Now, I don't know if your company will pay for it. She has a letter, as we do too in our office, if you're using our CBD. We have a letter that says the patient's using CBD, it is third-party tested. We can put a copy of the certificates in there and say, hey, look, if you failed, it's not because of our CBD. I mean, it could be you doing something else, or they have a faulty drug test. It's a cheap urine test, a pee test. So that's interesting. So also, she said she is actually going to be one of the investigators and helping with this new study that starts next month on the effect of CBD and dementia and Alzheimer's. Now, there's been a couple studies, but this one is a big one coming out. Right now, they're only recruiting patients from Pennsylvania. So on the effects of cannabis and dementia and Alzheimer's, which we do know that it does seem to help with their memory loss. I've started my mom on it, but it's not funny. She forgets to take it. And she refuses to have anybody there to help her. So I gave her a bottle in September for her birthday. September 12th is her birthday. I gave her the bottle and she still stinking has it. So that tells me she's not taking it anyway, and I can't. But it does work if you do use it. Okay, using CBD oil. So there's a trifecta that we have here. Let me find this. Oh my goodness. I wrote this out for you guys. There is a trifecta here of CBD. Where the heck? I don't have it on here. Fish oil, omegas 3s mainly, but omega-3 and 6, curcumin, and CBD. It is a trifecta using those 3 for decreasing pain, chronic pain and acute pain, right? It acts as a chronic pain inflammatory fighter. Fascinating. Of course, we keep all 3 in the office, but I don't like package those together. I think I'm going to do that. Curcumin, which is turmeric, which is a well-known, well-studied anti-inflammatory. People have used it for thousands of years. Fish oil and CBD oil. Okay, so here's the thing about fish oil. Fish oil does not directly interact with the CBD receptors, right? It doesn't directly interact with the CBD receptors, but what it does is the tissues respond by increasing, when you take the CBD, when you take the fish oil, the tissues respond by increasing the levels of CB1 and CB2 receptors. So it binds to those receptors, the fish oil does. I find that absolutely fascinating. So it makes your CBD, taking fish oil with your CBD oil, helps your CBD oil and your fish oil to work more effectively. And both decrease inflammation, both help with anxiety, both help with insomnia, both help with depression and brain health. I find that amazing. We're going to really start recommending that with patients, to take your fish oil with your CBD. If you have great fish oil at home and you've got my CBD or anybody's CBD, start taking it together. Okay. Also, they showed slides on bone health, osteoporosis, osteopenia. I was diagnosed with osteopenia last year, which I was ticked off about because I work out and I do the things that I'm supposed to do. But I'm a skinny white woman. Who gets osteoporosis? Skinny white women with no estrogen. But it helps with building bone. CBD2. Now I'm going to give you a quick little sidebar on what I do in the office at the class. CBD1 is mainly in the brain. CB1, I'm sorry, is mainly located in the brain. CB2 is in the periphery. All of the immune system in the periphery. CB2 stimulates osteoclasts, which increase your bone, right? And it decreases osteoblasts, which decrease your bone. So it helps make your bone stronger, right? She also talked about, this Alexa girl did, about using your CBD topically for pain, topically for skin cancer. What? I was like, well, that makes perfect sense, because I have stories that I show on that class about CBD taking away certain things, cysts and all that. I don't think you can see it, but maybe you can. I have a big old brown spot, age spot, that just happened here last month. 2 weeks ago, I just started putting CBD oil on it. Just that. I'm just putting it right there to see if it brings it down. Of course, now I've left it home for a week, but I think it's making it lighter already. But topically used on skin cancers, on the rashes that are caused by lupus. Now, I have lupus. I never had the lupus rash. I did not have a rash from lupus. I had other things happen, kidneys and joints and all that crap, but never the skin rash. But she said she uses it with her patients who have a lupus rash. It helps with any sort of atopic dermatitis, skin rash as well. Acne, put it topically on your skin. So I think that's pretty cool. So I had 8 hours. This is 29 minutes, and we're going to end this at 30 minutes. But I had 8 hours of education today. And again, I will do a big lunch and learn here within the next month on everything that I learned in the 5 days. But that's kind of a little synopsis of what I learned. Tomorrow is going to be crazy. Guys, you have no idea how excited I am about tomorrow. Rodney Yee, who is a yoga teacher, he's a Gaiam yoga teacher. He's a yoga teacher, but he speaks for Gaiam. He teaches all the videos, the AM, PM yoga, all of the videos, back yoga, all this yoga. They're Rodney Yee. Rodney Yee was my teacher when I first started teaching yoga years ago. Well, before I started teaching yoga, he was my teacher in the United States 20 years ago. I went to Bali over to Indonesia with Rodney on a 10-day teacher training probably 15 years ago. That was the first time I ever went to Bali. And then I went back this summer with Rodney and his kids and his ex-wife at the time. And now he's married to Colleen. But they are teaching tomorrow. They're talking tomorrow morning. I'm so excited. I haven't seen Rodney in about 14 years. So I can't wait to walk up to him tomorrow, because we just lost touch. I went to nurse practitioner school and he did his thing. He got married to Colleen and moved up to Sag Harbor and all that. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to see him tomorrow. Tomorrow night, I will do the same thing. Click the watch party. All right. And invite all your friends to watch. Always do that. Anytime we're live, click share and click the watch party. I just discovered that, and it's a ton of fun. We're having a big sale at the office, 50% off the sauna and the biomat while I'm gone. So they did all this while I'm gone. They're having a big sale on heart health supplements, 15% off the fish oils, which if you're taking CBD, go get your fish oil. Magnesium, all these things that help your heart, because February's Heart Health Month. 15% off until Friday. So tomorrow's Thursday. It's only the next 2 days. 50% off the sauna and the biomat as well. March the 2nd, I teach a CBD class. You can go to DannyWilliamson.com and sign up under events. It's free. It says buy a ticket, but you're not buying a ticket because it's a goose egg. It's zero. Sign up for that, because I would love to see you there. That's a really good class, and I am learning. Like today, I can add things to my slides today, and then I'm going to 3 more hours of classes the next 3 days on CBD. So I'm going to learn a whole lot. But guys, I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you watching, and I will answer your questions as soon as I log off here. And okay, wait, what does this say? Can you explain this by the dropper bottles and milligram usage, if that makes sense? Yeah, Shelby. Yeah. So our CBD at our office from Earth's Glory is in a metered bottle. It's in a dropper, and it's 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and 1 milliliter. So we have people start at 0.25. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head, Shelby. On the back of the bottle, it tells you how much CB1, CB2, and something else is in our CBD per milliliter. All right. So that would be 0.25 milliliter, 0.5. So that's how you dose that, Shelby, if you're using the dropper, it's like that. But again, they said the same thing that I say in my class, and I tell patients every day. It's the wild, wild west out there on CBD. The FDA has not set specific guidelines. Now, what they said today, several different teachers, is, yeah, probably around 60 milligrams per day is good. Some people need 20. When you hit your sweet spot, so my son's girlfriend, her grandmother uses the CBD, and it's the sweetest thing. She just calls us and orders it, and we personally ship it to her. We have it on our supplement store. You can order it off our website, but she doesn't want to do that. So we ship it to her in a box and ship it. But she uses just a tiny little bit, like 0.25, all throughout the day. She doesn't use it in the morning and then right before she goes to bed. She has figured out, as a grandma, and I'm not sure how old she is, probably in her 70s, I don't know, maybe 80s. She uses a little bit all day long, and it keeps her calm, and it keeps her pain at bay. Migraine headaches, put it topically on your head, and then take a little bit. If you have period pain, put it literally right over your ovaries. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable, but there are really no set guidelines. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm late, and I'm tired. I got to get up at 5 a.m. I got to the gym at 6:15 this morning. It was packed. These people are overachievers, I'm telling you. So I got to get up and get there earlier tomorrow when I'm not so embarrassed, because I get all embarrassed in the gym. And all right, guys, have a great night. I love you guys. Post your questions up here. I'll be live tomorrow. I actually will go live all week long, even during the trade show and stuff. So if you can log on, that's fabulous. If you're not on Instagram, following us on Instagram, go to Danny Williamson Wellness on Instagram and follow there, because sometimes I put stories up there that I don't put on Facebook. All right. Love ya. I'm learning for you. I can't wait to come home and share it all with you. Oh my gosh. I'm here with the best of the best. And Josh Axe talks tomorrow as well. or does he speak Thursday? I can't remember. Dr. Mark Hyman is here. Dr. David Brady, who wrote the Fibro Fix book, is here. Dr. Perlmutter is here. I mean, you name it, they're here. It's great. I'm here with the best of the best, and I'm just so honored every year to get to come and sit and listen to these guys who are trailblazers for functional medicine and blazing the trail for those of us that are out there in the trenches still every day working like dogs. So one of these days I'll get to speak here, and one of these days, that's my goal, is to speak at the, well, one of my goals, I have a lot of goals, to speak at the Integrative Healthcare Symposium. All right, guys, have a good night. It's late. Go to bed. Eat well, sleep well, move well, poop well, decrease stress, and cultivate community. Get out there, and this is community, but these are not your eyeball to eyeball people. Get out there and cultivate community. Love you. Have a good night. I'm tired.